heard the story. The couple all said to say, I do, on the 16th green. Now, the president is the one saying, I'm sorry. Turns out one of his golf games got in the way of their wedding ceremony and had to be moved. Now, no one can really blame the president for knowing the details of what's going on at a certain club, but why weren't his advisors on top of this to avoid such a PR disaster? Presidential historian Doug Wead says it's par for the course for this administration. The PR guys just don't help the big guy out. How could they miss this one?
Boy, I don't think they missed it. I think this was an example of hubris and arrogance. Gustave Flaubert, the French writer, said, there is no reality, there's only perception. And this is a little
I was
complex.
thinking of Gustave myself, having said that. No, but you know what? In this case, I think they gave the couple a heads up a little ahead of time. The president's going to come to do a round of golf. You can't be out physically on the 16th green. They ended up getting, I understand, actually a better position at the club or a better venue at the club. I don't know the full details. So the president calls him, apologizes. So maybe the president looks good in the end, no?
Yeah, might have. What's troubling to some is that this is a reoccurring event, and it speaks to poor staff work. If it were just this incident, it wouldn't be so bad, but the president's trip to Estonia in September, he used incorrect facts in his speeches. It was all over the news in Europe and Russia and the Baltic States. We didn't cover it at all here in the United States, but it was pretty embarrassing stuff. So,
but the golf thing is what perpetually comes back as a bad image thing. I mean, presidents elect to golf, I guess, deal with this, but none, I think, in recent memory to this degree with this president, and whether he's golfing, shortly after the word of decapitations of American hostages, it always looks in bad form. And you would think his people would say, this doesn't look good.
You would think.
But they're not doing that. And I'm wondering if that is really hurting him now, that it piles up when these type of incidents occur.
Yeah, I think it is. The perception is that the president's staff doesn't appreciate how the president is being perceived. It wouldn't happen under a Michael Deaver or a Joe Canzeri or a Steve Studdard or a Leon Panetta. So ultimately, the president's responsible for his own staff.
But do we know if the president was told about this and then said, there's a wedding going on there, you're going to interrupt it?
Probably not. I would hope not.
The reason why I say presidents have overruled advice from their key advisors. Ronald Reagan, when he was told not to go to the Bitburg Cemetery where a lot of SS officers were buried, he overruled those advisors, said, I'm going anyway. And that caused a big, big kerfuffle and all that. But I'm just wondering, how do the presidents and their advisors work in sync or fight each other? And how is it different with this guy?
Well, the question that we don't have answered is he really giving some authority to someone to run things? Because Leon Panetta, if he were running things, this wouldn't have happened. They knew, they thought they were going to get away with it. They knew going into it all the background of what was happening on that golf course. So the question is the president empowering someone on his staff to make those calls, or is it just a staff of sycophants that rise and fall based on what they say about him in his presence? He needs to work on it, because this is his staff.
Yeah, it's the golf thing. Always the golf thing. All right, Doug, thank you very much. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year.